to talk a little bit today about some of the reasons the VA denies Nexus letters. Many veterans believe that once they submit a Nexus letter, their claim should be approved. But the reality is that a large number of Nexus letters are rejected by the VA. The reason is rarely because the veteran's condition isn't real. Instead, it's more often because the medical opinion does not meet the standards the VA set for service connection. Today, we're going to explain the most common reasons Nexus letters are denied from a medical perspective. I'd also like to talk a little bit about what elements the VA is actually looking for when evaluating your medical evidence. Let's start with what a Nexus letter is. A Nexus letter is a medical opinion written by a qualified healthcare professional that explains that relationship between a veteran's current medical condition and either their service, exposure, or another service-connected condition. The VA relies heavily on medical opinions when determining whether a condition is connected to service. However, the opinion must meet specific evidentiary standards. The key phrases that often appear in an opinion include at least likely, it is at least as likely as not, the veteran's condition was caused or aggravated by their military service. More likely than not could also be used, but in my opinion, it's a more rare phrase. These phrases reflect a legal and medical threshold used by the VA known as the 50% probability standard. So reason one why a Nexus letter could be denied: lack of medical rationale. One of the most common reasons a Nexus letter is rejected is the absence of a clear medical rationale. I talk about this a lot. The medical opinion must explain how and why a condition is related to service. Simply stating that a condition is connected to service without supporting explanation or evidence doesn't provide the VA with enough evidence to rely on that opinion as valid. We see that a lot with your treating physicians just writing, "I'm Dr. So-and-so and I think it's connected to service." A proper rationale typically includes a review of the medical history. It's important for you to outline what the medical opinion is based on, a discussion of the relevant risk factors, and medical literature or established scientific understanding to support that. You're not just saying, "I'm Dr. So-and-so and I believe this." You're going to want to explain that biological or physiological connection between the conditions. And without that reasoning, the medical opinion carries limited evidentiary weight. Second reason: failure to address alternative causes. You can say all you want that this is connected to service and here's something to support it, but if you don't rule out other possible causes, it may not carry as much weight. So there are multiple conditions have many possible causes, and you have to account for that. For example, hypertension may be influenced by genetics, lifestyle, stress, other diseases. Sleep apnea can involve anatomical factors, by the way your anatomy in your throat is, weight, neurological control of breathing. And so when a medical opinion fails to acknowledge these other possibilities, the VA may determine that the opinion is incomplete or carries less weight, less probative value. A thorough medical opinion should explain why the service-related factor is medically significant despite other possible contributing factors. That's something we do at MRPY. We consider all contributing factors. Some of them may be service-connected, some of them may not be. Reason 3, insufficient review of records. An issue can occur when an opinion does not appear to be based on comprehensive review of the veteran's medical records. The VA examiners often have access to the full veteran claim file, which can include service treatment records, private medical records, buddy statements, personal lay statements, physical exams, private medical documentation. So there's a whole list of things that this can include, prior VA decision letters. And if that private medical opinion does not demonstrate awareness of these records or a sufficient amount of these records, the VA may consider that opinion less persuasive. Reason 4, lack of medical literature or established mechanisms. So certain conditions require explanation of that recognized medical mechanism that's you're making your opinion based on, that this connection. For example, PTSD and cardiovascular disease. It involves documented stress-mediated pathways. Chronic pain. Chronic pain conditions may also influence neurological processing and sleep regulation. So you're going to want to explain that and cite your source. It's important to cite your source. Medical literature helps demonstrate that relationship between the conditions, it's medically plausible and it's supported by research. You're not just, again, Dr. So-and-so saying, I think these two things are connected. This matters. Why does this matter? The VA must evaluate those medical opinions based on probative value, meaning how well the opinion is supported by medical reasoning and objective evidence. A well-supported opinion does not simply state that a conclusion. It explains the medical logic behind that conclusion. To sum this all up, understanding how the VA evaluates medical evidence can help veterans better understand the decisions made in their claims. The goal of a medical opinion in the VA disability system is to provide a clear explanation whether a condition is connected to their military service or service-connected condition using established medical principles. The more detailed your opinion is, may not matter if it doesn't contain the right pieces of